Hello everyone and welcome to my last update before my yearly tradition of breaking down every movie I own. Now last year that video was 5 hours long, and since then I've added 2 shelves and I still got more stuff to show you today. To say it's gonna be a long video is an understatement, and as per usual I do that video as kind of a way to show the way my collection evolves, and it's more of a video for me and for people who are really into collecting. I don't expect a lot of people to watch it all the way through, cause yeah, why would you listen to me for 7 hours talk about every individual movie on this wall? But without further ado, here comes my latest update. Now I'm still waiting for 3 things, but I'll just tell you what they are. There is a 4K of Jess Franco's The Girl from Rio, which I might possibly get before I upload this video. Oh, so if I do, I'll just add it up.
Hi, editing spooky. I got The Girl from Rio. 4K, Blue Underground. Looks beautiful. Daddy Jess Franco, let's go!
And then I pre-ordered 2 things from Vinegar Syndrome, and I might buy one of their daily deals eventually. And if ever I receive those before I upload this video, again, I'll just, show you. So, without further ado, let's start with the first one, and I've just received it. The guy from Amazon literally just left, and it is Messiah of Evil from Radiance Film. Now, I posted a meme on my Instagram channel, my Instagram page. If you're not following that, go do it, about like 70s or American super low budget slow burns that are really atmospheric, very moody, and how they hit different, and how it is like, I don't know, the meme, I'll just put the meme up there. And my inspiration for that meme was because I had just seen Silent Night, Bloody Night, which is a Christmas horror film, and I saw a lot of reviews on Letterboxd just straight up calling it boring, and I thought to myself, well, a lot of the films I love would be considered boring, because I love a lot of the 70s slow burn stuff. So I just thought about a couple movies, and I also discovered this one in the theater last year, and this honestly became one of my favorite discovery of the year. I mean, I knew about this movie for a while because it is, I think, in the public domain, or there were a lot of releases of it. Code Red released it previously, Code Red or Scorpion, one of those 2 companies, but I never watched it, and yeah, I watched it in the theater, and now I have a 4K player. That was one of the gifts. Thank you, Santa. And I don't want to be that guy, but I kind of wish this was on 4K because it looks so gorgeous, and the transfer, especially on the big screen, was wonderful. But I don't know, it might look good on my TV. It's certainly gonna look good. Like I said, the transfer is wonderful. Moving on to the next the next pile, I want to thank my friends, the Sick on Cinema podcast, Matt and John. This year we sent each other gifts, and they sent me a lot of stuff. They spoiled me. The first thing, this one, they told me a while ago that they were going to send me, and I can't show anything else because this entire little booklet is just, if I open randomly, yep, there's nudity, yep, titties, yep, titties, yep, titties, there's like titties in every page, so I obviously can't show that on YouTube, but this was a bonus that came with the special edition, the Caligula films from Bruno Mattei and Joe D'Amato that Severin released, I think, last year or 2 years ago. Now, I got those 2 movies, and the Bruno Mattei one is... The Joe D'Amato one is alright, but the Bruno Mattei one is absolutely out of this world, fucking bizarre, and I'll probably do a video eventually on that, because Caligula, the original, is one of my favorite movies, so I was kind of curious about these Italian ripoffs, because Caligula kind of became like Emmanuel, and where basically any Italian filmmaker would just fucking throw some sex scenes in there, some period piece, and call it Caligula. But yeah, Joe D'Amato's. So this came with it, and I was always heartbroken because the limited edition that came with both came with this, a coin. Like, it is a beautiful edition, and we never got it in Canada. And God knows, other than the Emmanuel box set, I wasn't gonna pay the Severin shipping prices. I'm not that insane. So yeah, I was kind of sad. And then John, I think John is the one who bought this edition. He just let me know, like, I'll just send it over. I don't really have any use for it. So now this is sitting on my bookshelf, hoping that nobody ever. That's Lord Games Are Naked. That nobody ever decides to pull that from the shelf and look at it, because Jesus Christ, is this is this book perverted? I recently did a video on A Corpse for Christmas from Bloodsick Productions, and I really enjoyed it. Obviously, I made a video on it, and it's coming up later on in this update because I did buy it. And the boys saw that I really liked this film, and they bought me one of Bruce Longo's earlier film. I think this was his first feature length. I'm not too sure, but yeah, it's also a punk SOV madness kind of film. I haven't watched it. Obviously, it's still plastic wrapped, but I can see, a lot of the same actors from Corpse for Christmas. Yeah, I'm really down for this new wave of like fun indie stuff, or just really good low budget underground stuff instead of just fetish stuff. And obviously Bruce Longo is right up there with Steven Grischuk and people like that, Edison Binnick. And the next guy, I haven't seen any of it. I did see Freak. Freak was alright. I wasn't the biggest fan of Freak. I feel like Freak is nice, a nice display of special effects, but like the plot and everything, the characters, the dialogue, nothing really jumped out. It wasn't awful, just nothing was really that great. But I'm excited to watch this. The boys always talk about this. Uncle Sleezo's Toxic and Terrifying TV Hour, so this kind of anthology, fake TV show, I assume, with some fake commercials. Yeah, this should be fun. I mean, I always like these types of fake TV show kind of anthology films, kind of like that at WNUF that came out a few years ago. I really like WNUF. I really want to see the sequel, but it's not available in Canada, I don't think. Maybe through TerraVision. I'll have to look at it. But yeah, Uncle Sleezo's from Lucky Cerruti, Dead Vision Productions. Yeah, I'm curious about this one. The boys have sold this one quite well, so we'll see. But yeah, some more fun indie stuff. Some more really fun. Alright, now you guys know that Matt runs, well, if you don't, now you do, Sin Films Preservation, which is kind of this film preservation. It's a goddamn bootleg company, Matt, stop lying. But their releases, Matt's releases are always so well done. And one of them is like, not an upgrade because it's still a DVD, but like a bootleg upgrade. So I can get rid of my Human Pork Chop DVD, but enough of the spoiler. The first one, the cover is done by Ivy, who was here on Instagram. I think I'll have their page linked, and goddamn does this look awesome. So this is Paul Gazzari. If you guys don't know, I'll probably do like a short on this because the backstory is probably more interesting than the film, even though I am curious about the film. This is a film from North Korea. This is a kaiju film from North Korea, and the thing is that good old, was it Kim Jong-un at the time? Or not Kim Il-sung, I think it was Kim Jong-un. Who's in right now? Is it Kim Hunt? What the fuck? I'm getting confused with the Kim dynasty. But yeah, Papa of the current dictator was a big fan of cinema. He loved movies, especially American movies, which is funny because he hated America but loved the entertainment. Kind of like how his son loves basketball and how Donald, what's the name? Donald, not Rumsfeld. I don't know why I'm thinking of Rumsfeld. For people who don't know, I'm not American, so anytime I chat with the boys and I don't get an American reference, they're like, you don't get that? No, not from your fucking country. Anyways, Pulgazari. Basically, I'll watch it, I'll do more research on it, but yeah, it's a kaiju film from North Korea. Goddamn, Matt, do you want me to get more depressed? Writhing tongue. I know about this film due to Show Me Something Wrong. They did an episode on this, and I think it's about, like, how fucking awful... tetanus, yeah. It's basically a film where we watch a kid fucking die from tetanus. Basically, from what I understand. It's 2 hours long, and, yep. Fucking Christ, Matt. Jesus save my soul. This looks, God, so depressing. And finally, I kind of spoiled this, but Human Pork Chop. I've done a complete a video on this. It's one of the nastiest, sleaziest, like, Cat 3 movies, and the phone is ringing. My mother's phone. You know how old people are? You know how... She's not a boomer, she's a Gen X. You know how Gen Xers really like to put their phone as loud as they can just so they could hear it, even though she doesn't have that bad of hearing? I digress. Human Pork Chop. Yeah, I've done a video. This is fucking nasty. This is a nasty movie. I love it. I kind of love it, and I kind of don't at the same time, because it's not the best movie, and it's fucking trash, but hey, that's what I like. So yeah, I'm just putting it so I don't have to make more space for it, and this is I guess Matt's starting a series of Cat 3 because he numbered that. Yeah, this is my old bootleg. This is the ZVD NV. Like, the cover is the same, and oh yeah, that's right. I used my a 3D case movie. I think this is my case for oh no, this is a Wii case. This is a case for a Wii hunting game. For some reason, came with 3D glasses. Anyways, it's gonna be an upgrade because this bootleg's ZVDD, whatever the fuck their name is. It's not a bad company. I've ordered from them a lot. It's just, you know, they're a bootleg company. Matt puts a lot of more effort into his stuff, but he also just has a few releases, unlike something like Trash Palace, which puts no effort, but goddamn, they got everything under the fucking sun. And not no effort, they actually put a lot of effort. It's just, you know, their graphic design is lacking. I don't know why I started talking about bootleg companies when I could talk about my VS order and the first thing on the pile because I watched it last night, and Jesus Christ, what is this movie? I was thinking about how to rate this one on Letterboxd, and I have no goddamn clue. How do you rate The Corn Chucker? For people who are unfamiliar, goddamn do I have a surprise for you. The Corn Chucker is a independent 90s, late 90s film made in Indiana, not far from Urschel's, like, town where he lives. I won't dox him, obviously, but, like, in an hour, like, kind of away. And it's a 16mm edited on VHS by this fucking Brandon Snyder, who, yeah, and it's bizarre. This movie is fucking ungodly weird. It's basically Midwestern Eraserhead, but I feel like that's somewhat accurate. It's not as good as Eraserhead, obviously. It doesn't have the... I know. That's the only thing that the Corn Chucker says. The only dialogue, because the rest of the movie he just warps his head to, I guess, read people's mind and control what they're doing. The only thing the Corn Chucker said is, I know. It's fucking mind-melting. This is a mind-melting movie. Like, if you want, like, a true mind-melt, that's not shit, by the way. Like, a lot of people are like, well, what is my cat doing? So yeah, a lot of people are like, oh well, what's that movie called again that I didn't really like? Boarding House. Like, oh, Boarding House is a mind melter. Yeah, but it's also shit. This is actually pretty good. But I don't know, I need to rewatch it. I was stuck on Letterboxd for like 5 minutes switching it between a 3.5 and a 4 because it's just, I don't know how to rate it. This is not a movie. This is an experience, a weird MK Ultra experience. I don't know. Fucking people from Indiana are weird, man. Terror, this is kind of like a British giallo. I've done a review for this on my second channel. It's actually pretty good. I didn't switch to the alternate cover like I usually do because, well, this cover is not great. And also, I don't know. It's just, I really like this film. I wish it had another title because this is the most generic, bland, boring sounding title for a horror movie. Like, oh, what do you want to call your horror movie, mate? How about we call it Terror, because it's terrifying. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. The good stuff. Well, all of this is good stuff, but A Gun for Jennifer. Goddamn VSA. Or is it Vinegar Syndrome Archive? Yep, that's VSA. I'm dumb. They're killing it out of the park. And for 2024, everything they announce, like not everything, but a lot of it, I'm like, God damn, man. That's why I pre-ordered 2 things, the Forgotten Giallo set and Santet 2, which are these bizarre-looking satanic Indonesian films, because I do love Indonesian films. But yeah, A Gun for Jennifer, it's a super indie 90s punk feel revenge film, rape revenge film. I've never seen it, but I've heard so much things about it, and for a while it was like completely not lost, but like stuck in copyright hell, and it couldn't get released. And then out of nowhere, Vinegar Syndrome was like, yo bro, yo fam, we got this, here you go, here's goddamn A Gun for Jennifer. And I was also excited, even though I've seen this movie, but I've seen this movie in like the worst context, which is a video disc, a laser disc, or VHS or VCD even transfer from China, and that is Untold Story 2. I just released my video as I'm recording. This week was my video on Untold Story 1, which is one of my favorite Cat 3s. You guys should go watch that video, because not a lot of people did, and I think that's fucking shitty, because I put a lot of effort in that video, and I love the movie, and more people should talk about movies like Untold Story, and people should talk less about I Don't Know Me, I don't know, the new disturbing fucking movie iceberg titles, I don't know. So that's still a thing, because I still get fucking comments on my goddamn videos from 2 years ago. Oh, I was watching the disturbing movie iceberg and wanted to watch this, learn about this movie. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, people, you're late. Fuck. Now, this movie I only got because of the boys that were talking about how the soundtrack is awful and how it basically just repeats the little song over and over again. Then I asked them if the movie was decent, and I think John was like, yeah, it's alright. And then Matt was like, no, I hate it because of the shitty soundtrack. Who done it? Apparently, I had the song stuck in my head, even though I haven't watched the movie yet. I just know the song because the boys made sung it in one of their episodes. But I also didn't turn to the alternative cover, because even though the cover looks pretty cool, the other title for this is so generic, I would have gotten it confused. Island of Blood. I have like maybe 20 movies that could be called Island of Blood. Who Done It is a way better title, even though, yes, it is pretty generic when you think about it. Don't Open Till Christmas. I didn't get this package before Christmas, so I didn't watch this as a Christmas movie, although I like to watch my holiday-themed horror films whenever the fuck I want. I don't need a month. I don't need God to tell me that it's December, so you must watch Don't Open Till Christmas. I spit in the face of God. It has Carolyn Monroe. It is British. Hey, British, mate. They fucking British, mate. I got a lot of British movies this month. Exploitation. I think this was also in the public domain. I know the last people who released this that I can remember were Mondo Macabro. I'm not too sure if it was public domain, but a lot of like those sets, you know, the sets, the like $5 sets. Like I had this 50 drive-in movies, and this was on it. Probably a cut version, so this is probably like uncensored. A lot of extras, a lot of extras. I'm redundant, and I'm a piece of shit. This from Saturn's core. We got Shattered Dead, baby. More SOV greatness. Ooh, let's go. This apparently is more serious than you'd expect, especially from a SOV film, which is, I feel like a lot of the 90s SOV films were more like serious, and you know, they just did SOV because that's what their budget allowed. And from what I'm reading right now, from the back, this is like inspired by Euro sleaze and European cinema, and it looks pretty cool. It looks, I've heard only good things, and if it's inspired by the works of the classic Euro sleaze filmmakers with sexual debauchery, yeah, I might do a video on this one. We'll see. There was a lot of movies I need to do videos on. I was watching clips of my last year's full collection video, and I was like, still haven't made a video about that. Singapore Sling got announced, and in last year's video I was like, yeah, I'll probably cover Singapore Sling very soon, and I still haven't. Now I might as well wait till they release the Blu-ray, because it'll get some hype, I guess, if Singapore Sling can get any hype. Last Vinegar Syndrome, I needed this. This is one of their older like titles in their collection, and I still hadn't had it. Kind of like Luther the Geek, which I got recently, or The Bees. Did I ever buy The Bees? Now I gotta buy The Bees. Like those old like Christmas Evil, same thing. Like those old like blue cases, you know, the era of the Vinegar Syndrome blue case, which now just looks silly when you're looking at the collection, you know, the graduation days, you can see Corruption and Christmas Evil. So yeah, back in those days, they released Pigs. This is an ex-Trauma movie. Well, not an X. This is a Trauma movie, just Vinegar Syndrome released it, as they tend to do. I think they have a deal with Trauma where they get they do the transfers, and they get a limited amount of time to release it, and then the rights go back to Trauma, and then Trauma can use the Vinegar Syndrome transfer and then sell it as a Trauma Blu-ray, which is a good deal for Trauma, because God knows that company couldn't do half as good of a job as Vinegar Syndrome when it comes to transfer. I love Trauma, but they're not equipped like Vinegar Syndrome is to do movie transfers. Like their shit is pretty bare bones. Ooh, more Black Friday Vinegar Syndrome. Might as well. I got this as a gift. Thank you again. This is beautiful. This is a work of art. This is probably my second favorite release from 2023. First one obviously being Emmanuel. But the Emmanuel, I at least knew what I was getting. This, I have no clue what any of these movies are. They might all be terrible. Who knows? I doubt, because, as I've said, one of my favorite genre or era is like late 60s, early 70s, slow burning, independent, low budget American horror films. I feel like a lot of those are in here. And yeah, just, this is just a beautiful, kind of reminds me of their old Bizarre Art Theater release with, you know, the newspaper clippings and the ads for movies. And then you get, and from what I understand now, there is a documentary that comes with this, is these were lost forgotten films that Vinegar Syndrome, this has nudity on it. I won't take out the individual blues, but yeah, from my understanding, these were lost, forgotten films that nobody really knew existed, and then Vinegar Syndrome somehow found some prints. As they do, they're talented for that. They probably know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy who might know a gal. You know, I'm not sexist. Women can find film prints, and then they compiled it, probably because they couldn't sell all of these on their own. They needed a gimmick to sell these, and I'm a sucker for any like 60s, 70s exploitation films that are very obscure. And you get a bonus documentary about the whole ordeal, which is what got my attention at first. I'm like, damn, an entire documentary about how Vinegar Syndrome restores basically how they run their company. You know, they restore films, they find these hard, like, shitty prints, camera negative, and their positives, and they restore movie. Like, when you think about it, yes, Vinegar Syndrome is a releasing label that releases a lot of amazing stuff, a lot of forgotten classics, a lot of movies that become classics when they release them. But at first, like, they're kind of a film archival company, which is just nice that they get to, you know, make a lot of money so they can put out better known titles to make more money, because at their core, they started as a company who saved these types of movies. I mean, their first releases, like I said, like, do you really think, like, they went to Massage Parlor Massacre and they were like, yep, that's gonna make us the big bucks? No, they just wanted to save these movies. Do you think they're like, yep, Man, that's one that's gonna make us millions? Or fucking Corruption, that weird porno? Or shit, they were like, yep, Sugar Cookies, that's gonna be a top seller. That's what I always liked about Vinegar Syndrome. A lot of people shit on them for like releasing these unknown titles, but somebody needs to do that. These films deserve love as much as Citizen Kane's deserve love, you know, as much as some classics that I have here deserve love. These forgotten 70s, 60s, low budget independent films also need love. Look, if you want Scream Factory, go get Scream Factory. Vinegar Syndrome has a clear mission, statement, and they do a great job at that. And some people have just started collecting Vinegar Syndrome because they can resell them for a lot after, which is... I have my problems with Vinegar Syndrome, but as a whole, the company does an amazing job, and they proved that again this year. Their titles that they keep announcing are insane, but a lot of people are like, I've never heard of that movie. Well, that's kind of their thing. If you want like mainstream 80s horror, go somewhere else. That was my rant. Like, I just hate the comments, like, won't be picking this up because I have no clue what it is. Goddamn, Vinegar Syndrome, you're dropping the ball. Since when did you know most of the stuff they release? Unless you're really into, like, connected. Like, maybe if you're Mr. Parka, you know most of their catalog. But if you're like me, who just likes to discover these types of movies, I had no clue what most of the catalog that I now own from Vinegar Syndrome was. Anyways, rant over. Let's go on to another one of my favorite companies, and they had a sale on Unobstructed View, which is where I got Jess Franco's girl. Where I got Jess Franco's girl from Rio, which I'm waiting on. Again, it might show up as I edit this. It might not. Unobstructed View is kind of a mess. You never know. It can show up 3 days after, or 3 weeks, or 3 months. But this one showed up pretty quickly, and I did this order because they had a Mondo Macabro sale, and of course I got myself some Franco. Now, for some reason that I still don't understand, I was at work during that time, so give me a break. I thought all of these movies that I bought were from Jess Franco. This one is modern take, so his 80s take on his classic, The Awful Dr. Orloff, which is a film I adore. And again, I am working on that Jess Franco video. I am almost 10 pages into it, and I'm not even halfway through his career. I'm still in the 60s. It's gonna be a long video, people. Hold on. But yeah, this is basically his modern day take on his classic film. This is from the 80s, so it was made back when he returned to Spain on a much lower budget than his original film. So, and it probably has Lena Romay and it's showing Bush. I don't know. I'm pretty excited to watch it. The reviews on it are great, but most of Franco's stuff, the reviews on it are great, and they're great movies. I thought this was Franco. I don't know. It is Spanish horror, so at least I'm not completely off. It is directed by Jose Luis Madrid, which I'm pretty sure I have some of his movies, and it is the horrible, sexy vampire. Yeah, it's a Spanish horror vampire film. I assume in the way of maybe not Paul Naschy's vampire films, maybe more in the Franco vein, kind of sexy exploitation vampire films. I don't know. I'm always down for more Spanish cinema, especially Spanish horror, and especially sexy vampires, because that's apparently one of my favorite genres, because I own so much of it. Shout out my boy Jean Rollin. Which basically only... Yeah, this one I have no excuse. This is not even Spanish. This is a French film. And it's clearly not directed by Franco. It is from the director of Pussy Talk, which is a film about a talking pussy. I should cover that one too. I know about it. I think I have a goddamn file for that one. But yeah, Sins of the Flesh. This looks to be kind of a giallo-esque thriller, but French with, of course, a lot of sex, because it's from the director of Pussy Talk, which is my favorite talk show. You guys remember Maya Distribution? I feel like this distribution label was everywhere in 2011. Yeah, I remember being on Amazon when I just started collecting, being in used movie stores, and I'd find these everywhere. And now they probably don't exist anymore. But still, like, they were so prominent, kind of like Shriek Show. And now if you go to a used movie store, you never find them. Deaf Will Have Your Eyes. This is a strange one. So this is an Italian film. This looks to be an Italian giallo, an obscure one, but you know, an Italian giallo. And the thing about Italian filmmakers is usually they're pretty prolific. This director only made this film, which is very strange. Very strange. Anyways, I haven't seen it. Not yet. Oh, more Franco. Yeah, this is my Franco stack. Not as much as I'd want, because again, I got confused and ordered a bunch of movies that I thought were from just Franco, but weren't. Sinner, the fourth in the Kino Cult line, but this line is not just Franco, so it'll just jump from 1 being Lorna the Exorcist, and then this one will just jump to 4 on my collection. It happens, same thing with their old Redemption line. I go from like 20 to 56 to back to 40, because that's not the way I collect, it's not the way I display my stuff. But yeah, just Franco, 73. I have so many of his films from 73. I think out of all the years, 73 is the one I have the most from Franco. Because I'm pretty sure Lorna the Exorcist from 73. I think Erotic Rites of Frankenstein is from 73. And then I think Dracula, Prisoner of Frankenstein is from 73. And then there's, of course, I have one, The Hot Nights of Linda, I think is from 73. Yeah, there's a lot of films from that year. I think he made like 10 that year, which is like almost one a month. Impressive, if you ask me. This, I think, is the latest Franco film I own. This is from 1996, the year I was born. The year I was born. 99 Women, other Just Franco shout. Yeah, what the fuck? 90s Just Franco? On film? Fuck yeah. This is, I didn't even say the name of the movie, Killer Barbies, which no, they're not like Barbies, like Barbie dolls, but they were a punk band from Spain, and I guess they were fans of Franco, and they were like, damn, let's make a film with Franco. So it's a French and Spanish co-production, which for the 90s is actually impressive, because they kind of stopped doing that whenever the European genre film industry just crumbled in the late 80s. But yeah, apparently it's a Scooby-Doo-esque mystery horror film, but Franco style, so more nudity, I guess. More nudity. It's like an old dark house thriller, a van load of kids. Yeah, I'm pretty curious, and I think this might be a musical too. There might be some music, because, you know, they're a punk band, and it says a punk shock erotic opera. I just really love the cover. I'm really curious about this one. Now, I've talked about this on a video, so yeah, go watch that one. A Corpse for Christmas. Amazing. Amazing film. I have some issues with it, but I think I do with a lot of films. I mean, films in general. They're really rarely perfect. But man, I just really like this one. The vibe, the feel, the characters, the acting, everything. I just really love this film. Shout out Bruce Longo. Pete Walker, another British film. I got a lot of British film. Most of the directors I love from Britain, probably that most people from Britain don't even know them, because they're obscure. Pete Walker is far from obscure. He was one of the most prolific British exploiteers, probably the best. I recently watched, that's why I bought this, because I was like, I kind of, like this, like in 2023, I don't think I've seen any Jean Rollin film, so I kind of, you know, I left my baby alone, and now I feel bad, and so I'm gonna probably watch a lot of Jean Rollin film this year. But I did the same thing with Pete Walker this year, and then recently I watched The Comeback, which I've had for a while and just never watched it. And this year I also got House of Immortal Sins, and I watched it and I was like impressed. I love that film, and I'm like, yeah, that's why I like Pete Walker. That's why he's one of my favorite exploitation 70s director, because he just has that vibe and that style that I love, that very slow burn, very British, very quaint filmmaking, but very just captivating. So yes, Schizo probably wouldn't pass the day, because it's about like mental illness. And in the 80s they 70s, sorry, why does it say 80s, fucking cunt. In the 70s, they weren't, the mental illness was not treated as well as it is today. Now we're back to Japanese titties. Well, actually, this one is more like Japanese kakis. This is a Isayu Sato film. This is from the Orange Crate. Totally a secret project that Urschel didn't open up to more people because he couldn't sell these 25 copies of this film. Honestly, you should go buy it. First of all, this is like a full like printed disc, as is Orange Crate usually are, and it's a Isayu Sato film. It is a gay pinku film, but come on, guys, we're adults. We know that men exist, and some of them like other men. You can deal with a little bit of gay, pinku. And my final one, of course, from the Nikatsu collection, because I'm a pervert. I didn't have this one. It was cheap on Amazon. Most of these you can't really get on Amazon anymore, just because probably they sold out. It's not like they're offended by their existence, but I should get more of them as soon as possible, because there's like 2 copies left for most of them. But yeah, this is Nurse Diary Beast Afternoon. What does that mean? No clue. No clue. I can tell. What is a Beast Afternoon? What is a Nurse Diary? That's a diary of a nurse. Yeah, it's Nikatsu. Probably gonna cover this on my channel eventually. It's directed by Naosuke Kurosawa. Not that Kurosawa. So let's slow down there, peeps. But yeah, can't wait to jam into this one. It's not the only thing that's gonna be jammed. That was my cock. That was the thing, my cock. Anyways, next time you're gonna hear me talk about films individually, it'll be probably for way too long in a full collection video. So cheers, people. telling you it's gonna be a long video.